All right, Benjamin.
Yeah, so I am teaching a little bit today on harmonic dictation, and this is R01. So in the harmonic dictation, we'll be talking about inversions using the chords 1 and 4 and 5. But for this, we're just going to warm up a little bit by just singing triads off of the scale, and we're going to say we can sing basically all the chords. Does that make sense? We're not going to work with them all on that, but we can go ahead and sing triads based on all of them. So let's sing a triad based on do, like do, mi, sol, mi, do. Ready, go.
Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Fa, do, la, fa. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Mi, sol, ti, sol, mi.
We do that one again. Mi, sol, ti.
Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Sol, ti, re, ti, sol. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Fa, la, do, la, fa. Re, fa, la, fa, re. Sol, ti, re, ti, sol. Do, mi, sol, mi, do.
Good. So as a review, let's review, if we're looking at the chords of 1 and 4 and 5, we have different chords that share a common tone. For instance, which two chords share do of 1, 4, and 5? 1 and 4, right? Let's sing our 1 chord, just like we just did.
Do, mi, sol, mi, do.
And now our 4 chord.
Fa, la, do, la, fa.
Good. Now let's do this. Let's have, how many people do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Let's have 3 people going to sing do. Who's going to sing do for me? Great. Who's got me? Great. And then the rest of you got sol. Okay? So let's do this. We're going to sing our do, mi, so, like when we stand in the circle around them, we don't have to for today. But let's do it like that, and then mi is going to go to fa, and so is going to go to la, so that we can hear that do staying constant. Does that make sense? So can we go with do?
Do.
Then mi. Now my sol people. Good. Now mi and sol. Move off by step. Here's the do. Stay. So go ahead and move back down. Okay, good. So everybody can hear that, right? So if we're listening for our 1 and our 4 chord, you can always listen for the do. And know that the 1, 4, and the 5, those are the only two that are going to have the do. Now, there are also 2 chords that share the sol. Tell me about that, Caleb.
Well, let's see, do, mi, sol, so 1, and
1.
then sol, ti, re, 5.
5, great. You think we could do, yeah, Lindsay.
What about 3?
What about 3? 3 also shares it, but just for this, we don't even have to worry about it. So we just know we have 1, 4, and 5, it makes it way easier for this. But 3 does share it, and later on, we'll get to that. Probably either later on or in RL2, we do that a lot more as well. So do you think we could do the same thing with that? Let's try it. Let's do, what would be the best way to do this? What if we put sol on the bottom? And this is actually what we're going to talk about in just a second. Okay? So let's start, let's have, how about our 3 guys sing sol? Okay? Either one. Yep.
4 guys.
So, oh, 4 guys. Okay.
It's the hair.
It's this side of the room now. I see everybody over here, and then you and Dr. Snyder. So let's have the 4 guys go on sol. Okay? Good. And then I need 2 people on do. There's do. Good. And then who's got mi? Okay, good. Everybody got it? So we got the sol and the do and the mi, and the do is going to resolve down to ti, and the mi is going to resolve down to
Re.
Everybody got it? Okay, here's our pitches one more time. And just hold that. Sol, do, mi. Thank you. Okay, good. Everybody resolve down, except for sol. so when we're doing our progression, we can listen for the sol, and we can also listen for the do. Does that make sense? Great, so let's talk a little bit about inversions. And let's do, here's a progression that is all in root position. Okay, and we're going to sing the bass of that. So let's do, we could sing it all, but it would probably take way too much time, so we don't want to do that. So let's do do, sol, do, fa, what do I have? Sol, is that right? Do. Great. Can we sing the bass while I play the chords along with it? Do. Ready? And let's do 2 snaps per thing. Ready, go.
Do, sol, do, fa, sol, do.
Perfect, good. So now, is there a way, this is fine, right? Sounds nice, 5-1. It kind of hops around a lot in the bass line, all right? Is there a way that we could make it smoother or more interesting?
Inversions.
Great. What do you think, Lindsay? Was that what you were going to say?
Do, re, mi, fa.
I like how you're thinking. So let's take one step back. We're going to get to that in just a second. Okay? Let's talk first about first inversions. Okay? So first inversions is when you've got what in the bass?
Right.
The third.
The third, exactly. We just talked about this yesterday in theory class, right? So now when I used to teach piano lessons, I used to tell my students that first inversion is when you take the bass and put it on the top. Now that's not strictly true because if you're playing like block chords, that's often the case, and you just move it, and for like little kids, they're like, oh yeah, I went over there, great, you know, kind of thing. But strictly speaking, it's when the third is in the bass, because when you have 4 voices, the root is not necessarily on the top. It could be in the inner voice, right, depending on how you voiced it. But the third is always in the bass. And if you're writing it out, it's fine to double any tone, except for the what? Leading tone. And what chord would you have the leading tone in? 1, 4, or 5?
5.
The 5. Yeah, so you want to make sure that we don't have that there. However, let's listen to this progression, and listen, see if you hear the third in the bass. We're going to have the one first inversion chord in here. Did you hear it there? Let me play it one more time. No, I'm playing a different one. I'll write another one. Yeah, no worries. Listen for it one more time. See if you can hear it go to the third. Did y'all hear it? Let's write it up on the board there. As Aaron pointed out, this is a different one now that we're using first inversion. That was a good question. This is a different one. We're going to come back to this one in a second. So let's do do. If we go to the third, what is that going to be in solfege? Mi, exactly right. Did y'all hear it? Do, mi. Do, mi, fa, sol, do. Okay, can we sing that? Now y'all don't have to snap this time, but that's the tempo we'll go. Okay? Here's our do. Ready, go.
Do, mi, fa, sol, do.
You hear how we have this nice stepwise motion from mi to fa? That's what makes it smoother and more interesting. Because then we're not just going do, do, fa, which again is fine, but to me it's much more interesting if we travel there more smoothly. Okay?
So would that be a 1/6 right there?
That would be a 1/6.
Okay.
And if we were doing Roman numerals, which we will in a second, that would be how we would notate it. Now why is there a 6 right there?
I thought the 6 was at the top.
Do what?
I don't think it matters like if it's on the top or the bottom.
Yeah, I just like to put them on the bottom. People have different, slightly different ways, but I just put mine down there because it's figure base.
Is that how it'll be on the test?
Do what?
Is that how we need to do it on the test?
I'd say so, because it's figure base and they usually hang out on the bottom. So, let's talk more about that in a second. What I want to point out for this though is, this shows us that there's a 6th above the bass, and what do we say is the bass? The third?
Yeah.
Right, so a 6th above the third is going to be do, so that also shows us that it's still a 1 chord. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, say that one more time.
Okay. So because we have the sixth is a third above me. I'm sorry, the sixth is 6 above me, and 6 above me is do. And so, since we know that if we hear the do, then that's another thing that confirms that this is still a 1 chord, and not some funky 4 flute or whatever. Does that make sense?